How are y'all doing? I'm just kind of moving some stuff around while we're waiting for some people to join us. Waiting for the TV to kind of catch up. We got new challenge for the month. All right, TV's caught up. Let me know if you're here. I'm just getting started, and I have only one thing in my mind, and that's what we're gonna go with tonight. So I'm gonna grab some random paper. Oh, I thought I had the variety pack here. Yep. And just wait a couple minutes, see anyone else shows up. Some things out of my way off my desk. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and get started. Looks like I have a few people here. You're welcome to say hi if you're in chatter. If not, that's fine. We're going to make a thank you card. Hello, Cherie. It is November 1st, if everyone can believe it. I hope everyone had a safe and happy Halloween. Since it's November 1st, that means it's time for a new challenge. Hi, Lori. Hi, Michelle. It's all right, Michelle. I hope you're recovering well. Hi, Lori Barnes and Lori Gordon. The new challenge for the month over on the YouTube channel, the Facebook channel, the Brutus Monroe Fan Club page, is thank you cards this month. That means you can use any color, any medium. Hi, Crazy Cat Lady. Any stencil, any product, as long as you use at least one Brutus Monroe product, and it needs to be a thank you. It doesn't even have to be a card, a thank you project. Hi, Luann. Any kind of, if you're doing a gratitude, thank you. So since we're going to play with that, and then next week I'll go back to getting my subscription stuff. That should be here tomorrow, maybe. Tomorrow or Thursday will be my stuff for the month, so then we can play with that. But I thought we'd start off this month. So this is just the assorted pack. It has 15 sheets. I don't even know what colors are left. We're just going to grab one and we're going to go. We're going to make a thank you card. So let us grab this blue. I'm not really versed in the colors off the top of my head because there's so many different colors out there, but we're going to go ahead and use this more of a light blue color. I grabbed a bunch of stamps, some stuff I haven't played with, and I went through my stash looking for thank yous. I found a few that are old, a few that are newer, and I thought we would just play around. So I thought we would do some stamping, and I should measure once. I'm just cutting this down 5.5 and then 4 1/4. And then I like to take my extra pieces and just shove them right back in the packaging. Michelle, it is so cute. Lagoon, I was going to say it might be Lagoon. I think I have some Lagoon. Let me see quick. Nope, Lagoon is a little darker. I do have Lagoon. Lagoon's more of a teal, so this is a little bit lighter color. I will link it down. I will put the color down below. I need to actually get a list of all of them. So, all right. So what we've got is, I thought it would be fun to play with this Dream Bigger stamp set. This was from CYOE in July. It was from Heather's class, and I actually haven't even used it yet. It has dies that match, and it has a stencil as well that works. And I thought, excuse me, I want to start with this big stamp. Is there going to be a release this month? Michelle, like another release, Michelle? That I'm not 100% sure if some of the Christmas tidings will be released. I know the boxes will be shipped here shortly in the next week or so. It might be C. But I know that the subscription products are available. I think I missed part of the live today. Somebody asked about the inspiration box. It wasn't on the website yet, and I did not hear the answer. So I don't know if that was fixed or not, but I do know the die of the month, the stencil of the month, they're all on there, and some of the papers and stuff. I have a window in my office, and that goes into my living room, and my puppy's looking at the window through me. Hi, Kate. How are you down in Florida? All right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of leave it right in the middle. I have my crafty corners. I think that's what we'll use, so I know where it should be. These are from My Sweet Petunia. I got them when I ordered my, I ordered them right away along with all the other stuff. These are the magnetic ones when I got my Misty. So, okay, so we've got this big stamp set, and I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in the middle first. We're just going to make a background pattern. I haven't decided. I was thinking about heat embossing it, but I don't know if I want to do that. So I think we're just going to stamp it. And I'm going to grab, don't know how color, we're going to see what this looks like. I'm going to grab Clear Skies. Just so we can make, I just want to make a pattern background. I've been really kind of diving in my stash and checking at stuff I haven't used. So like I said, I haven't used this yet, so it hasn't even been inked up yet. Put my fingers over it a little bit. Get some of the manufacturing stuff off there. And kind of looking through old things I've had. I was telling my honey tonight that I said, some of these stamp sets in this box I've had since like 2008 or before. They're quite old. And I said, a couple of them haven't been inked yet. So I said, but I really like them. So I said, I've been kind of redoing my Pinterest, looking for ideas for stamp sets, you know, putting in the title of the company and the stamps, and making new boards so that I can start using some of the stash that I grew and loved to have. Okay, so we've got that. Now we are going to move some things around here a little bit. I'm going to put this down here for right now because I want to move this. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe it off a little bit. And we're just going to make a pattern. I don't know if we're going to do anything else in here. I just thought maybe I would kind of, I don't know if I want to do it that way. I think I want to do it directly on top. It's not going to maybe be perfect. I didn't draw lines to make it perfect. Perfect is overrated, right? It's homemade. And I thought this would just be, instead of using it as a dream catcher, I would use it as a background stamp. And I will be honest with you, I have a lip in my Misty because I accidentally heat embossed on it a long time ago. And so I have a little bit of a bump in my, so sometimes it takes me a couple extra stamps because it's not flat anymore. I need to get that. So, and I also have found that sometimes, I know I'm on this glass mat, and so that is not a solid surface. There is a little bit of space underneath. And I have found sometimes if I put it over to the side where it's more sturdy and I push, that I get a better impression. So if you are having issues with the stamp, maybe not getting in your Misty, it's very possible that maybe there's not enough support underneath. You know, like if you're using a glass mat, that there's not enough, you know, it can give a little bit versus the sides. I just have found that for me a little bit here and there. I think I'm just going to flip it and see. Okay, so it is, I didn't quite center that, but I'm okay with it. We're just going to, and I didn't wipe it off. Learn from my mistakes. All right. So I am the type of person that, okay, I can listen to Christmas music all year round, not just saying, but I was joking last night about, you know, it's Halloween and that as of today, it's November 1st. I am officially in holiday season. Yes, Thanksgiving to me is part of the holiday season. So I am ready for Christmas music and Christmas decorations. Now, I don't decorate my tree before Thanksgiving. I don't mind putting up some of the decorations that are, I mean, I like to keep up my fall decorations, but I don't mind putting up some of the things that also could be winter because I do live in the north. But growing up, I always had my kids and I always put up our tree on November 1st. ish, or the weekend of November 1st. And that's usually because we would go see my mom and dad a lot of times at Christmas, so we wouldn't be, or we'd go on a trip, and so we'd be gone. And I always wanted to enjoy my tree, but we never did decorate it till after Thanksgiving. But I was so joking last night. I saw a meme about, turning into Christmas and starting to play Christmas music on November 1st. And I was like, that is so me. I did not play Christmas music today. We did have our first snowfall yesterday. Hello, Ellen. How are you? It kind of spit. It really didn't stick around, at least in town. But we did have a little bit of snow. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, not worried too much if it's perfectly lined up between those. And I'm just going to fill in. Like I said, we're just kind of making a nice little background paper with this. If you really wanted to, you could take some time, and you could color in some of these. Good. I am glad. I cannot believe that it is November 1st already. It seems like it was just 4th of July, to be honest with you. I will say that I know I'm stamping these several times, but I need to re-ink my ink pads as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and turn it back this way so I can put this in here. Can be a little bit time consuming if you're doing a pattern like this, but it can give such great results. Like I said, you could be exact and draw very light pencil lines if you really wanted it to be perfect, or put in a ruler, but I'm just eyeballing it. We had freeze warnings, and like I said, we did have some snow yesterday. It was flowing. We didn't really have any slick spots, and I live in the Mississippi River Valley, so you have to go down the hill. Hello, Lisa. And up a hill to get in and out of my town. So up on the hill, there was a little bit more snow than there really was, but it didn't really stick around. And there was some times where it was just blowing, and it just looked like it was coming down hard, but it stuck to some of the roofs of the houses, or like metal roofs, to parts of the cars that were cold. I am going to do this little corner here just to finish this off. I don't know if we're going to cut it down, but I do want to do that corner. The 18th of December, so we never put the tree up till after her birthday. That, you know what? I don't remember growing up when we put it on. I'd have to ask my mom. I grew up in northern Minnesota, and my son's birthday is the 14th. But like I said, I like the white lights of a tree. I mean, I've always been a white light type of tree, and then different colors. I like colored ornaments, so I like that. And so to me, it's like, put them up and I can just turn off all the lights in the house and just have the Christmas tree lights. That's one of my favorite parts. But I got a puppy last year, so I've had a tree up since I lived in this house. And we replaced the lights a few years ago. Well, the puppy decided to, and just as white lights, and puppy decided to, well, the first couple weeks I was here, decided to chew the lights off while they were on, because we kind of had them on all the time. And so we haven't had lights on our tree. So I had to take those off. He bit the controller, because it was one of those that would turn the controllers, or that you could turn the speed on and stuff. So I'm hoping to get lights on the tree this year, because I haven't noticed him eating anything electronic since he tried to eat a power cord on a computer. So I never did outside lights growing up, mostly because, I don't know if my parents had time, and we had 4 kids. And like I said, I grew up in Minnesota. It's cold. I was a very big, because, yesterday was Halloween. I was in high school when the big blizzard of 91 went through Minnesota on Halloween, and we got a lot of snow. And I remember it being cold. I remember a couple of the older girls were dressed in a little bit skimpier outfits. Like, they were dressed as some of the Flintstones and I Dream of Jeannie, and they were freezing because they had like no clothes on. So, snow from October through, or Halloween through mid-May or mid-April was never not something, it happens. So, all right. There we go. Okay, so we have a fun little background here. Different ways you could make this. I'm going to pull that up a little closer so you can see that. So just a fun background. We can do some fill-ins here. Maybe I'll look and see what we got here. You could heat emboss this. It would be fun. You'd have a nice sparkly, and then you could do some ink blending over it and do some emboss resist, or actually, like I said, there is a die that cuts this out. And then I do want to, yep, I always love driving all over town looking at everyone else's too. So this is the Dream Bagel stencil, and it is designed that you can put it over. I just wanted you guys to see that. I'm not going to do that tonight, but I wanted you to see what it looked like. That I will ink one separately. We can stamp one and ink one so you can see it. We'll do that here quick. Let's grab that last other piece of paper that I cut. Where'd it go? Well, it is very pretty, and it's, you can build on to make it a long, like dream catcher, like I said, or you can use it just like this, and I think that's kind of fun. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to stamp it down here quick. I'm not going to worry about it being centered because I can always cut it down. I think I will go ahead and though I'm going to do it in black. In the Raven Detail ink. Oh, I keep forgetting to move my, I need a new, well, I guess I did re-ink this though, but I did wipe it clean, and so I have some fuzzies from my cloth, so it's not perfect, but it will be fine. Okay, I might just leave that on there for now because I don't know if we're going to use this one again. Let's get that out of the way. And then here is, so it's got those fine lines, but it's all connected, so you wouldn't necessarily need pixie spray. So I am going to grab some pixie tape, and we're just going to do some ink blending with it quick. So all I'm going to do is take it and just kind of, and you could actually, you can spin it. So I don't know if you can see the line. See, oh, here, I'll get it closer. So you can spin it so it looks like that. Or you just kind of turn it till it matches up with the lines. And then you can color it in. So I will do that quick. And we'll just use that clear sky ink again and blend it quick. Throw another piece of pixie tape on here just to make sure it doesn't move, because I am an aggressive blender. There we go. I think I moved it, so we're gonna excuse my head for a second, you guys, because I'm looking at it sideways. Okay. So I'm just gonna grab this Clear Skies and my little blending brush. I'm just gonna warm up my brushes a little bit because there's some ink on there. We were so bummed today. You ordered the new Tim. Oh yeah. Oh, that's all right. Ellen, they had them, but they sold out fairly quickly. So I'm excited to hear you try one. I did not order one today. I ordered, I have some other things that I have to put on order. So I thought I'd just wait until the next round when they'd come in. I don't really have space for a trimmer right now. So, all right. But that's all right. Sometimes it happens sometimes. I didn't even realize that's what that was until I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a new trimmer. Awesome. So I am going to add a little bit of the no diving just here in the middle. And then whatever's left on here. Well, I'll be anxious to hear what you think about it. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll just do a little bit of blue around the outside edges. Okay, so we're going to pull that off. And so there's what it looks like with it blended. Isn't that pretty? I did have it off just a teeny bit, but I'm okay with that. You can always line it back up and get those last couple edges. Oops, I have it the wrong way. Like I said, just move it over a little bit till it covers up the lines. And I'm just gonna move it down just a hair. And we'll go back like this and we'll get that center section that I missed a little bit. And there we go. So very, very fun. It does keep the black line sharp. It would be, and then I will show you, let me grab this is just a black. I don't know what cardstock this is. It's just a black. It's heavyweight. I think it's from Big Box Store. It's what I use for, I just have leftovers that I'm trying to use up. But it's like the Raven. And let's go ahead and we'll do some, I'm going to do some white on it so you can see what it looks like without the stencil or without the stamp. So what I do is I like to use a foam dauber, and there is something on here. When I use a foam dauber or for my white, I like to use that versus a brush when I use stencils, because I find that it's easier for me to just kind of dab down instead of, now this stencil doesn't have little pieces that can move, but I just find sometimes that brushes catch when I use the white. So I find it easier to just be able to go in, and you can twist a little bit. Like I push and twist, push and twist, push and twist to give it just that little bit of extra around the edges. And then we'll see how I did. And then I just have these little hors d'oeuvre cups that I use for, and I keep, it comes in like a 10 pack I got at the dollar store. And I keep one for my Raven Detail ink, and I have one for my embossing ink, and I have one for my white. And they just sit on my desk just because they can be a little more messy. So let's pull it off. Okay, so I did get a little bit wet up at the top and kind of over blended in that area up there. You can see that, but, and like I said, if you wanted to use, if I was going to use it just by itself, I'd probably use pixie tape or pixie spray just to be safe and make sure that those are really down, because then I can have a good design. But if I'm using it with a stamp, I didn't need the pixie spray. So let us clean this off really quick. And then you can, since this is a stencil that works with a stamp, instead of keeping this separate, I just put it in the back of my thing here. And then I will show you how it die cuts out. We'll cut out the blue one here for those of you who have not seen this yet. So as you can tell, I have not used this yet. That would be a good challenge. Use a stamp or die that you stencil that you have not used yet. Ink it up. That should be one of our challenges. Nobody would know if you were using it or not, but. So, yes, you could. Yep, you could heat set at the little color. We could do that actually. Let's actually do fairy dust is my favorite. So one of my favorites. So let's do that. Let's heat set it. You want to do that, Ellen? Let's see it. I mean, you could use any color on top of the white if you really wanted to, and I did not use an anti-static powder tool. So I am gonna kind of tap it hard. But I was gonna say you could very, very, very carefully, if you have a good steady hand. I do not, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Take a pick tool and kind of go over that line a little bit. And then you wouldn't have all that powder in there, and you would have that little bit. It's not going to be quite as deep. I mean, it depends on how much work you want to go through it, but you could go Just kind of give a little bit of more definition through. I have a crafty friend that says perfection is for serial killers. So I figured I don't need it to be perfect. But so then we got that. And you can kind of see, if I put it at a tilt, you can kind of see where I drew those lines in. So that you can see a little bit more of the definition of it. Let's quick heat set this. All right. I love the look of watching ink. I just love it. All righty. If you hear a little bit of a fan, I have a heater on in my room so that it's a little cooler or a little warmer in here. So there you go. It's not quite as bright white as it was with the alabaster, but if you use the alabaster embossing powder, it would be. I use the fairy dust, which kind of gives it that little bit of it gives that very sparkly look. And I think you could go back in and you can kind of scratch a little bit to make those lines. I'm not going to worry about it. I can always put my sentiment there, but I'm happy with it. All right, I'm going to put that aside because I want to show you this one. So here's the die. And and I know sometimes with these types of dies, they're harder to see. And I have die cut out once for Heather, but you just line it up and you can see when you line it up. Let me get up a little closer. Here, I'm going to try to see if I can show you. And I'm going to be doing this at an angle, so it might look, but see how you just move it in place and then you can kind of see in the little diamonds and these two kind of diamonds shapes. If you line that up with the black, you kind of move it and then you can see and that's how it lines up. And then you can see the star kind of in the center too. Hopefully I have this done right. I've only used the die cut this out once, but you shouldn't see a whole lot of black lines except in that center. Like around these edges here, there should not be too many black lines. So I'm gonna go ahead, put this down. And I'm gonna run this over off the side if my die cutter is off to the side here. Then I will bring it back. And of course, it's going to cut a hole in my card, which is great. I can make a shaker card with this later. Put that away. Peel off my tape. And are you guys ready? I'm just going to push down in the center. And so it's not 1000% perfect, but it's very close. Like I said, I did this once, and of course I'm live. But if you can see, these spaces line up with the middle, and then here, and then here. So I'm off just a tad, but you push them all out. This is a pretty hard, this is what, 80 pound cardstock. So it cut very well. I don't have to, I'm just kind of pushing them out. It's easier for me to use like a stick or something to push them out. And then you've got that cool shape. I'm sure you could die cut a bunch out and set up a jig and stamp it. And then if you wanted to, if that's your preferred method of cutting and stamping. But there you go. So let's go back to our cards. That was a little bit of a side trip, guys. I hope that was okay. So I think I am going to add a little bit of extra color. I don't think So now you see these pieces here, you can die cut them out, you can stamp them, and you can add them on. You can add, you know, the arrows. I mean, look, what a fun background these feathers and arrows are for a masculine card. But they can hang off there, and you can kind of keep adding and layering and using some stuff, some foam tape to give different dimension. But I just wanted to use the background for this one today. So put that off to the side because I'm going to use a different stamp. I think we need to fill in a little bit. Let's see, what do I have handy here? I don't know if I have anything that's super tiny. That's close here. Let's see. I'm going to pull all the details stamp set. Actually, I think maybe what we'll do is there's this little, I'm not 100% sure if this is a button, like this little triangle piece, if it's supposed to be like a button. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I think that's what we're going to use. Oh, squirrel. Yeah, that's me. So I am going to just go ahead and, it's a little wet. Put a little water on it. We're going to just stick it on maybe stick it on an acrylic block. I need to wash it. And then, did I put the clear skies back away? We're going to grab the clear skies, and I'm just going to stamp a couple of them in that hole there. Okay. And I'm, like I said, just to fill in a shape. I'm pushed a little hard, so it might not have its detail, but it's just kind of filling in those little extra spots that fit kind of perfect. So make sure, go through your stash, see what you find. You never know what you're going to find that might work. Go ahead and put those in. I think that's all. I think that's all we needed for those little extra spot there. So and then the last thing, I'm going to grab some No Diving ink. You're late. What the November challenge is, Brody? The November challenge is gratitude. So, thank you, something you're gratitude for, you know, any kind of project, but just something you're gratitude, thankful, something like that. So I'm going to cut down the edges just a little bit here. I like to do a 4 by 5¼ inch card. We'll just cut down a few little edges off the edges. And Brody, I loved your project last month. Thank you for entering. So I appreciate it. It's going to be on the blog. So on Sunday. All right. So I'm just going to take some of this No Diving ink. I'm going to tap a little bit off on the side. We're going to add just a little dark color to the outside edges. And here we go. So I used some of the Dream Bigger. I used the circle from the Dream Bigger penny from the Create Your Own Ending event to create my background. And then I showed kind of how to use the stencil and the die with it as well. And then I grabbed a tiny little die from the All the Details stamp set to fill it in. And so this is going to be our background. Okay. So we need, I'm going to grab a card base to start just because that way we can kind of build on there from there. I think I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock here, and I'm going to ink blend a bunch of the No Diving, give it some of that. We're just gonna, and I am actually gonna grab, I really like the dome foam, the dome pieces from Ranger that go on this to do a whole panel. I feel like I can get deep, dark color. And I just want to create a shape that I can die cut out. Nothing super, has to be super fancy with it. I just thought we would die cut out a shape. Let's see here. I have a couple of things. Yes. I have the every Monday. Okay, yeah, that'll be perfect. I will excited to see it from him. I love that he wants to participate. I'm going to go ahead and use, this is the Easy Elements dies. I'm going to cut a smaller tag down from here. This was also from Create Your Own Knitting event. And I think medallion. I was trying to think of what that word was called today. I was trying to look up something online for a medallion. I couldn't think of what that was. Somebody told me that in the last one. And I'm going to die cut this shape out here for a tag because it's tied in. And then I did grab one of the Christmas from the Merry Making event stamps. I thought that would be fun to add to this as well. And we will stamp and die cut that out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Just for, we're going to put our sentiment on there. Oh, thanks, Cherie. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing until I start playing, and sometimes I throw it around. I throw stuff away, but it kind of depends on what I'm doing. But I do like to kind of craft live on the fly because I feel like it helps I do feel it kind of helps some people when they have a roadblock or they're not quite sure what to do. So I thought this would be fun. We're going to stamp our sentiment on here, and I think I'm going to use, I grabbed a bunch of them, but I think I'm going to use this thank you set or this thank you ton set. This is super sentimental. It's one of the older stamp sets. It is still available, or at least it was because I did check last week, I think. And then this is the Scandinavian holiday set. This was from the Merry Making event. And I thought it would be fun to use one or two of these images and then die cut them out. They do have the matching dies. So I'm going to grab, we're going to cut out a couple of the characters and we'll decide which one looks best. I need a magnet. And I'm just going to grab a piece of white paper. All right, thank you, Penny. Super Sentimental is in stock. I thought so. So I thought maybe we would stamp a couple of the images. There's a bear, an owl, a bird, and a deer. And I just thought we'd stamp them all out and see which one we think is the best one for our stamp set. And I am going to go ahead again with the No Diving ink to ink them up. I'm just kind of going more with because they'll have that white imagery on the outside from when we cut them out. And then I'm kind of giving this a moment to dry, and then we will stamp our sentiment in white with that. Okay, so it looks like I need a little bit more on the owl and a little bit more on the deer. These all have some designs in them, so I'm trying not to squish them too much down. You don't want a super juicy ink pad because that might get in the little crevices. Let's see. And then I think the bear needs a little bit right in there. Okay. Maybe just one more little one here. I use my ink pads a lot, so you will find that I tend to stamp numerous times, but a lot of times that's because I need to re-ink my ink pads. And push this over here because I ink blend a lot, so my ink pads are open, and I use the same ink pads all the time. Okay, there we go. Perfect. We'll just leave those babies in there for right now. And we're going to get the dies out. And I wanted to point out that Christopher mentioned this in our class. If you look, see the design on the bottom of the deer on the leg with the flower in the, if you look at the stencil, it has the same design. So I will pull them up so you can see them next to each other. a minute so I can get him on camera. See that little spot on the deer with the flower and then the leaves? So he did point that out to us in our class. So that's a little something that you might not notice otherwise. He's super cute. All right. Got some stuff here. We're going to cut him out. And like I said, the dies are very, very easy to line up. Now, I will say if you are not careful with the deer with his legs, sometimes one leg might move over, like some bigger stamps. So something you can do if you're having an issue with that is lay the die in the stamp in the Misty first and put your die inside of it. So now I noticed my legs are not 100% like they, because sometimes with bigger stamps, these things, they can move. So they're not 1,000. These two line up really well, but this one moved over just a hair. That is something I kind of forgot, but I'm okay with. So I'm just going to line it up as best as I can. So if you have dies that are stamps that have like legs like that and or like a limb and a die that matches and you find you're having trouble being able to stamp them straight and line them up, use the die. You put the die down like you're going to cut it out and put the stamp inside of it. I can show you what I mean after we get this done if you need a explanation or a visual. This bear is so cute. I feel like we need I want a big version of him. Like for like a mini slim card. I want a big version of him. All right. So what I like about the Brutus Monroe dies is they're pretty easy to just find the white space around them. They don't super hug real super tight, so they're a little easier to light up. All right, I'm going to die to cut these out quick too. And then see how easy they line up? And then you can see here what I was talking about. My back leg isn't 1,000% lined up. So I will show you in what I was talking about to do this. So I learned this from Shannon. Quick wipe these off just because we're going to need to put them away. I'll put them over here on this mini die cutter for now. I'm just going to grab a white piece of paper. So if you take your die, make sure you're on screen here, and you just kind of put it in here. And you need to, first of all, not use your Misty magnet to pull it away. You don't need it to be specifically like taped down, but what you do is you just lay this down. I have a large puzzle that you have small stems in mind that you have to use the die template method because you can never get it to cut right. Yep. So you can lay it down on here like this. And then if you have to, you can kind of set the die leg inside the die. And then it kind of just sits inside there. And then when you push it down, it should, see? And then if I pull it up, let's see, I'll put something underneath it. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see, grab the blue piece of paper. The legs now line up. But you do need to make sure that you put your die face down like you're going to cut it out. If you would put it this way, it obviously wouldn't work. So you need to make sure it's face down. Okay? So that is a little trick if you're having issues with certain spots that aren't cutting out properly. Because, I have a couple other ones that are like that, but I can't think of them right now. So I have to remember that trick because it is very helpful. Okay. I'm going to put my dies away here quick on my little pieces of magnet so I don't lose them. Because that is sad when you lose a die. And we've all misplaced one or lost one, I'm sure, in our life. All right. We got a little bit of time yet, so we're doing okay. Just checking that. And then like I said, I store all my stamps and dies in pouches. Here's an extra stamp that I use. This is the deer. He's ready to go. That's in the Raven Detail ink. And we'll grab our stamps and put them on here quick. Put those away. So this is a great set for Christmas. And this will be a fun set to add on to the subscription products that came out this month. I was looking for my other piece of plastic that goes with this, but I don't see it. So I'm just going to stick them in so they stay clean. Okay, let's get this stuff out of the way. And we have our tag that we need our sentiment on. We've got, I don't know, the deer maybe. I like the bear. I don't know if I kind of want the tag to be seen. The bear and the bird, maybe. What do you guys think? Do you have a preference for the image that I'm going to use? You guys can think about that if you want to say, and I will stamp my image, my sentiment out. I think, oh, there's also thank you for you on, thankful for you on here. I think I'm going to use the thankful for you. The deer. All right. Michelle says deer. I think I am going to go ahead and put it at a little bit of an angle on my tag here. And then I will say that this might go horribly wrong because the Simon Hurley's inks do take a little bit, sometimes a bit to dry, but I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to heat set it. I'm going to just use a lot of anti-static powder tool. And got this. Where's my alabaster ink? We're going to go ahead and stamp this out. All right, we're going with the deer. He's cute. The deer is super cute. Oh, and then, yep, the deer. Okay. We had 2 votes for the deer, so we'll use the deer. And I'm just kind of lightly tapping it because, first of all, my alabaster ink is very juicy. And this is a very light, I'm off screen a little bit. Hi, Mom. Sorry, I didn't mean to be off screen a little bit. Let me turn my camera just a bit. There we go. How are you, Mom? My middle name is Sue, for those of you who are wondering why she's calling me Suze. My family calls me that. So I'm going to grab my alabaster ink. Did your snow all melt, Mom? And then this is my favorite thing to do with heat embossing with alabaster and alabaster embossing powder. You're good. Awesome, Mom. Where's my spoon? Mostly. Oh, you got more than I thought you did then. Is to use the alabaster embossing powder with the alabaster ink, and I get that nice white. We're making a thank you card, Mom, because it is our new challenge this month is gratitude. So I thought we would do a thank you card. And I think I was saying these animals will go really cute, are really cute with the release that's this month. I think they'll pair nicely together. Just the edges of the grass. Okay. All right, I'll turn my little heater off here so we don't blow a fuse. I don't know if the embossing gun will do that or not, but we're going to make sure we don't lose you guys all. All right, are you ready? Here we go. So I'm going to heat it up on my arm just a bit, and then I will bring it to my project. So there we go. And we'll get rid of our bear. I still think I might use the where did our little deer go? Anybody see where he ran off to? I was going to use the deer. Where'd he go? Maybe we won't be using the deer. I wanted to use the deer too, you guys. I lost him. He ran off to the woods. You know what is funny is this, it's probably true because my dog loves to chase deer. And I guess today he saw one like really far away and just took off after it. I can stamp another one out. Oh, what did we do with our little deer? I lost him. Well, I'm not going to keep looking for him. We'll stamp another one out. How does that sound? Grab some more white paper here. Oh, this is not good white paper. This will work. We'll line him up again. Fletch probably tried to eat him. Yeah. I was looking to see. He likes deer, that's for sure. All right, well, we'll stamp another guy out. Maybe he's stuck in here. Yeah, that's all right. We'll stamp him out again. But this time he'll show up just as we are finishing. He will show up, I'm sure. We'll use our little die trick again. Like I said, the magnet's trying to pull him away. Oh, Fletch, did you eat my deer? He's looking at me like, what are you talking about, Mom? I'm laying on the couch. I will tell you that if I need him to get to do anything, when my honey makes us venison jerky, I can get him to do about anything for venison jerky. All right. Hello, Stacy. Look on the, yeah, I looked on that. I have the black one, but I couldn't find the brown one. Oh, that's all right. We'll use this. We'll make a blue one. We've got a little bit extra time. It's not like it's a die that can get stuck to everything. How are you tonight, Stacy? I still can't believe he ran off somewhere. I do have a little bit of a mess everywhere, but I did do a little cleaning up. Okay, that looks pretty good. That was with the no diving ink. He probably fell on the floor and I rolled over him and like, that's, you know, he's roadkill now. All right, it is bow season here, so. And this month's theme is gratitude. Any other suggestions from us? Ellen, you have to use at least one Brutus Monroe product. That is it. No colors, no nothing else. I just, last month, you know, we had a bunch of colors and I just thought it was time for a quick, people are in the midst of creating Christmas cards and, you know, getting ready for Christmas, things like that, that a gratitude card with just a thank you card would be, everyone has some sort of thank you stamp. So even if you have no Brutus Monroe thank you stamps, you have other Brutus Monroe products and you have a thank you, or you might have an alphabet die that you can use. All right. So I think we're going to do it like this. And now I lost the little birdie. I'm losing everything tonight, you guys. Well, that's okay. We got the other items. He's here somewhere too. Let's get our stuff glued down before we lose anything else. My card base is right there. And I didn't want to say thank you. Oh, there he is. I didn't want to say thank you so much because we have some people who are mixed media artists or they are maybe scrapbookers. And I thought if they wanted to do, you know, not necessarily a Thanksgiving page, but something they were thankful for, or this year, instead of saying, you know, a thank you for somebody, that would be something they would want to do. So I wanted to leave it a little bit more open-ended so that people that haven't participated yet, if they wanted to, they could, without thinking about, well, I don't want to give a thank you card, you know, or I don't have someone I want to necessarily, I mean, there's always someone to say thank you to, I think, but if you wanted to go a little farther. And I know that some people do a daily December type journal which is coming up. So I thought if they wanted to get something ready for that, they could, or vice versa. Yes, that is one thing that is for sure with all the live packing videos. Yep. I actually, it's funny because I have my design team stuff is coming, and then I used a gift certificate I had to place an order yesterday during the live show, and they both shipped yesterday. That's when I was trying to tell her I had 2 orders if they wanted to pack them together because I saw my design team stuff was shipping, and they both shipped yesterday. They didn't find it. They didn't realize it was an old one, or that was something already out. And they both shipped the exact same time. One is supposed to be here tomorrow, and one is going to be here Friday. Or isn't that funny? Or Friday, and one is going to be here Saturday. And like I said, they left at the exact same time. I just think that's hilarious. All right, so we got our thankful for you. And then I'm just going to put our little deer in here, and I don't think I'm going to pop him up. I feel the same way, Penny. When I first met Christopher and started watching his lives, I kept thinking, I want to buy more stuff. I want to buy. He kept enabling me. So I kind of like it sometimes that they're with the packing of the live orders because I'm at work, so I can't shop sometimes. Or it's right after I placed an order. All right, I'm gonna hold that down with some of my Barely Arts glue. And then I'm not gonna pop this up at all just because I'm just gonna keep going with this. We're running close to time here. So I'm gonna put this right here where the normal little tag top would be, and then I'm gonna grab some gems. I am going to grab some of the jewels mix. I have the hot, nope, those don't have any blue. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this one. This is the Brights. And we're going to use some of these light blue ones here. And we're going to just put a few. We're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm actually going to put a tiny one right in the middle of his flower on his butt. So we got to find the smallest one here. That's going to cover up a lot of the flower. We're going to put that right there. I'll put a big one up here. We got to have 5 because we got to have odd numbers. And oh, there's a tiny one. Oops. And there we go. Penny, I did yesterday. Yes, that's what kind of made me do it. I don't know if you heard Jess, if you were watching at the time, but Jess is like, Candy, you've been waiting for this one. And I did. So that will be here Friday or Saturday. I did. I got the stamped stencil and die. So I'm excited for that. And the new embossing powders. I got both the Polar Sparkle and the Polar, and then a bunch of card bases. So there we go. So I've got a thank you card for this. You have a nice, you're calling your craft from Pluto. It's full. It isn't a full planet, but it's definitely a dwarf planet. That's funny, Alan. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Don't forget, you have till the 29th of November, so you've got plenty of time. You can enter 2 projects on the Brutus Monroe Fan Club, some sort of gratitude project, thankful project. It doesn't have to be a card. One Brutus Monroe product, and use hashtag CYOE challenge so I can see it and make sure I get your name to be entered in the drawing. I have a little spinner that I spin. I put all the names in, 2 names in if you enter twice, and let it spin and then let it choose the winner. It's all random, so it doesn't matter if you're just a beginner or if you've been stamping for years. So please make sure you join us. You can win a gift certificate to the Brutus Monroe store. And I am glad you guys joined us. Have a great November. I will see you next week, and we will play with something from the inspiration, the subscription products. Okay. Have a great rest of your week, you guys. Good night.